Welcome to Immigration Talk Show. In this video, we analyze how the recent arrest of Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro could impact immigration policy and enforcement in the United States and why this development matters to Venezuelan American communities. According to international reports, the arrest of Nicolás Maduro has intensified political instability in Venezuela. Historically, political unrest in Venezuela has led to large-scale migration, primarily toward the United States and neighboring countries. As instability increases, asylum and refugee applications from Venezuelan nationals are expected to rise significantly. In a dramatic turn of events, Maduro was captured in a daring raid by U.S. military's Delta forces in the early morning of December 3, 2026. Maduro and his wife Cilia Flores were captured by the U.S. military. At 5:21 Venezuelan Standard Time, Donald Trump announced that Maduro and Flores had been captured and flown out of the country. Trump posted a photograph on his Truth Social account of Maduro on board the amphibious assault ship, USS Iwo Jima. The photograph depicted Maduro blindfolded, wearing noise-canceling headphones and a gray Nike sweatsuit, and holding a plastic water bottle. According to Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Maduro was arrested and would face criminal charges in the U.S. on cocaine trafficking conspiracy charges. The U.S. ambassador to the UN, Mike Waltz, justified the attack by describing Maduro as an illegitimate so-called president. Waltz added that the U.S. had carried out a surgical law enforcement operation to apprehend Maduro, whom he also referred to as a fugitive from justice. Maduro has been accused of narco-terrorism conspiracy, cocaine importation conspiracy, possession of machine guns and destructive devices, and conspiracy to possess machine guns and destructive devices. After his capture, Venezuelan Americans in the United States rejoiced as they had been living in fear of Maduro's torture, corruption, and rule. The latest capture of Maduro has given them hope that the economy will stabilize in Venezuela and that they can return to their homeland. In comments made to the U.S. magazine The Atlantic on Sunday once it became clear Rodriguez would be sworn in, Trump warned she could pay a very big price, probably bigger than Maduro, if she doesn't do what's right. During a cabinet meeting, Rodriguez indicated her government would engage in some cooperation with the U.S., saying, "We invite the U.S. government to collaborate with us on an agenda of cooperation orientated towards shared development within the framework of international law." Thousands of Venezuelans gathered outside the federal legislative palace to show support for Maduro, his wife, and the interim President Rodriguez as she was sworn in. Speaking after taking her oath, Rodriguez told the National Assembly she did so with pain because of the suffering caused by illegitimate military aggression. She vowed to guarantee the peace of the country, the spiritual tranquility of our people, the economic and social tranquility of our people. A circle of Venezuelan officials centered on Rodriguez and her brother Jorge privately outlined a roadmap for post-Maduro Venezuela, in which Rodriguez would act as figurehead and exiled General Miguel Rodriguez Torres would lead a transitional government, dubbed Madurismo without Maduro. In return, Venezuela would welcome U.S. investors and gradually loosen ties to U.S. rivals such as Iran and Russia. In another event, New York Mayor Zoran Mamdani has acknowledged the situation in Venezuela and President Maduro's capture and how it might impact resident Venezuelans of New York City. Recent global developments following the reported capture of Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro have triggered concern among Venezuelan immigrants across the United States. In New York City, one of the largest destinations for Venezuelan migrants, Mayor Zoran Mamdani has taken a firm and highly visible stance to protect immigrant rights and maintain city-level safeguards. Mayor Mamdani has publicly reaffirmed New York City's sanctuary city framework, emphasizing that city agencies and local law enforcement will not cooperate with federal immigration authorities for civil immigration enforcement alone. His administration has stressed that immigrants should feel safe accessing shelters, healthcare, education, and legal services regardless of immigration status. For the United States, this situation places additional pressure on the immigration system. USCIS and the Department of Homeland Security may face increased asylum filings, humanitarian parole requests, and temporary protected status-related applications. This can affect overall processing times across the immigration system, including employment-based and family-based petitions commonly used by Indian professionals and families. Immigrants from all over the world should understand that immigration resources are limited. When humanitarian cases surge, government agencies often reallocate officers and funding. This can indirectly slow down green card processing, H-1B adjudications, employment authorization renewals, and adjustment of status applications. Additionally, political developments like this influence broader immigration debates in Congress. Lawmakers may push for stricter border enforcement or revised asylum rules. These policy shifts can shape future immigration reform that affects high-skilled immigrants, international students, and business professionals from India. It is important to note that the arrest of a foreign leader does not directly change U.S. immigration law overnight. However, it creates ripple effects across asylum policies, humanitarian programs, and enforcement priorities. Staying informed and planning proactively is essential for immigrants navigating the U.S. system. For U.S. Indian and Indian American communities, these global events matter more than many realize. When humanitarian migration rises, USCIS and DHS often redirect resources, which can slow down employment-based green cards, H-1B visas, family sponsorship cases, and work permit renewals. Indian professionals, students, and families waiting in long immigration backlogs may experience indirect delays. This news analysis explains how foreign political arrests influence U.S. immigration policy, asylum processing, border enforcement, and congressional debates. We also discuss why staying informed about international developments is essential for immigrants planning their future in America. Subscribe for regular updates on U.S. immigration news, policy changes, and analysis focused on the Indian American community.